the eSailing World Championships as a way to bring a new audience to our sport. We launched the eSailing World Championships in May this year, and you may be interested to know in that in the 3-month period from May the 10th to August the 10th, when we ran effectively the open part of the World Championships, we had 164,000 distinct players. 164,000 distinct players in a 3-month period. 14,500 in that period signing up to be ranked in the Sailing World Championships. 80,000 races, 540,000 miles covered, and nearly 75,000 hours of playing the game. It's huge numbers for something that we've only just started. And I think the most interesting one is over 9,000 people completed the sailing school in game. I don't know if any of you, if you've tried the game, there's a fantastic part of the game which is effectively teaching you the basic principles of sailing. Of course, how to use the game, but it's teaching you the principles of sailing. So 9,000 of 164,000 people have actually have gone through the training. We also took eSailing to live events, and in Aarhus we had on average 500 visitors a day to the eSailing area, and 750 on Saturday the 10th of August. But to give you an idea of what the game looks like, if you haven't seen it, I'm just going to play you a short video which actually we used during the eSailing final here in Sarasota the other day. Oh, not starting. Okay, I'm not showing you a video. Technology, sport, nature, and technology. Technology's got the better of me. But we'll try and play the video later on when perhaps we're closing later on so you can see it. The live final took place here on Tuesday ahead of the World Sailing Awards. It was a great success. We didn't have a big in-theatre audience, but actually we had coverage on streaming and subsequent content on the event. It was featured on ABC 7, I believe. And you can see our very own Daniel Smith down here in the left-hand corner. And importantly, we crowned our first eSailing World Champions, and L1, who many of you saw at the award ceremony, was our overall champion. And I think it's early days. You know, we put this together in a very short period of time. We've learnt a huge amount, and we'll be planning now for the 2019 World Championship Series, and also more broadly how we're going to engage fans. But I think the numbers show for themselves. It was a great decision to move into this space, and thank you for the support of the board and council for doing so, because it really has got us to a new audience. Thank you, Kim. Actually, just before we go into the stakeholder satisfaction survey, the video that wasn't running earlier is now available to view. So perhaps we can just watch the video just explaining the eSailing World Championships, and I'll move on to stakeholder satisfaction. Thank you. And actually, for any of you that were there in the room, actually, being in the audience, actually, there was quite a lot of tension watching the end of the race, which you would never believe in that kind of virtual event. But it was a great afternoon. Thanks for those who attended for their support, and we look forward to developing it over the coming years.
Andy, I'm just curious if they were real sailors, actual sailors, not real. Were they actual sailors as well?
Actually, most of these guys I think actually that on one day, the day before, I think Torben and Gary went off sailing against these guys out in the bay, of course, which was a great opportunity. They didn't choose to share the boat with them, but they competed against them because they thought that would be a fair competition. But I think a number of them were sailors, and as you saw, the guy who won used to be an Opti sailor. Earlier in his career, but they were a mix, to be honest. And we see across the players, actually, it is a complete mix of those that sail from the sailing community and those that have never sailed, more interested from a gaming perspective. And that's clearly the audience we want to get to as well over the coming years.